close to here. I've joined in different sessions in, I believe, Minnesota and Toronto and Montreal, Ottawa, and this is the closest that there is to the type of get-together we do here in Newfoundland. I got a story I wrote last year. Just a little bit of background. There's a company in Newfoundland called Purity Factories, and they manufacture cookies, candies, sweet syrups, and hard bread, which you may know as hardtack. But part of the story, and I'll get that going. Yeah? Newfoundland, Labrador are those kind of places where people come to escape and give up their races. But not long ago now, we did have one spot where no one escaped nothing, and a battle was fought. See, down in Raisin Arm, when provisions are scanty, no one's allowed in Nan Blunden's pantry. Now the pantry is open, it's not locked anymore, but I'll tell you the story about what happened before. It was Nan's old orange tomcat. Now he's dearly departed, but he is the reason these shenanigans started. It's just a roundabout tomcat, every bay has the same. Nan loved that old cat, but, well, never gave him a name. He just did what he wanted. He went in or came out, the kind of a cat that's got the run of the house. Now, this is not some spry creature, like some fit mountain climber. No, he's more like a potato or a sofa recliner. And he's not a fast feline who can slither and slinker. He's more of the type that's a sitter and thinker. And Nan left that cat food up high on a shelf. There's no way that cat could reach it himself. But one afternoon now, he just wanted a snack. And it was just Purity products on that lower rack. Well, he ate a whole bag, or maybe two, of hard bread. That's when he got that Purity taste in his head. So from that day on forward, if his heart was beating, well, it was just Purity products was all he was eating. Nan went for fancy crackers, you know, for when company comes. And she went into the pantry and, boys, not a one. And she couldn't make any of her own fish and brews because there was an bit of hard bread around for to use. So as stuff started to vanish, Nan got right vicious. First her hard bread, then her candies, and then her Purity kisses. Well, she had enough. She put on a bolt and a lock. But a roundabout tomcat is not easily stopped. The very next day, that old cat, he gained entry, and he Houdini'd his way into Nan Blunden's pantry. And to make matters worse, just to be a tormentor, he went through every jam cookie and licked the jam from the centers. Well, so Nan turned that pantry into an impenetrable vault. She made sure that cat's antics would be brought to a halt. She put on bolts and big chains from ceiling to floor, and if you looked down, you could make out. She built a secret trap door and a dirty big padlock, and if you don't know the code, well, the Bombay door's open and down you go. See, to protect her provisions, she'd take on any man. Those Japanese ninjas, they got nothing on that. It's mission impossible for crackers. That's the description I'd use, and we're not talking about some fit feline Tom Cruise. No, that cat just sat bawling, and boys, what a sin. The constant meowing, well, because he couldn't break in. Poor Nan was poisoned, and she let out a roar, and that cat shuddered and shook and fell dead to the floor. I wish you were gone. Well, she didn't mean that, and it wasn't her plan to make away with the cat, but the old cat was dead. He had died with the fright. Nan felt so bad, she took all the locks off that night. See, that vault that she created around all of her food had killed her poor cat now and ruined her mood. And she went to bed early, her cheeks were all wet, and she cried as she slept over the loss of her pet. And the very next day, sure, something looked odd. It looked like the pantry door was abroad. Yes, so it was. Nan had been robbed. The shelves are right empty. Who would do such a job? They ate every cracker, every cookie and crumb, and they chewed every candy with the butter and rum. They drank all the syrup and they ate all the jam. Sure, who down the arm would do this to Nan? Well, poor Nan was in shock. Sure, what now could she eat? But who's that on the daybed, covered in crumbs, half asleep? Sure, it's her old orange tomcatcher. He was alive. See, to get into that pantry, he faked his demise. Well, Nan wasn't angry. She was one happy missus, and she didn't care if the cat ate the cream crackers or kisses. She was just glad now to see her old friend, and those purity biscuits, well, she'd get more again. But, boys, what a story. All the newspapers read, raisin-armed tomcat fakes being dead. And up at Purity Factories, the boss, Mr. Pratt, sent out a truck full of goodies when he heard about that. Well, Nan was right pleased, and with the cat's recent fame, she decided it was time to give that old cat a name. She christened him Nobody, not because affections were scanty, but because now nobody's allowed in Nan Blunden's pantry.